here's what I'm gonna make an assumption here. Some people might call me an idiot for making an assumption, but if you look, here's my new connector. Do you see how in the middle there's a slot and it's open on the top here? It's open on the top on this side, and on the bottom it's not, right? Let's see if I can show this to you here by pointing it out. It's open here on the top. It's not on the bottom, right? And if you look at this plug, before it got burned out, this is the top piece that was wide open. And you see on the bottom, this side is ultimately closed. So what I'm going to look at here is I'm going to say the one that's, then I can determine which side went into green, which side went into black. Pretty foolish of me to guess here, but anybody that can provide a comment out there to clarify that, that's a big question I had that I have not been able to find something on. Maybe I wasn't patient enough in my YouTube search results, but that's what I'm going to do when I crimp these wires. So really all this is there's two wires here. So I'm going to use those little connectors, little red connectors. I'm going to crimp one side and crimp the other. Obviously put the heat shrink around it. I'll show you, I'm assuming you guys know how to crimp that stuff. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done before I button it up and start putting the car back together, and we'll obviously test it as well. So, thank you. Okay, here we go. So, I have now installed these red connectors. So you can see there are my two wires, and I'm making a mess here, I got stuff everywhere. These red connectors, butt splices, 22 to 18 gauge if you see up at the top. And then I just use a cheap, I say cheapest, commercial electric crimper from Lowe's. I would suggest getting a better splicer like a Klein Tools, and I even think Commercial Electric makes one. It looks kind of like a set of needle nose pliers with these pieces there on the end. But this is a multi-purpose tool, obviously. You got your measurements here, you got your crimping tool here, and your splicers here, but there's such little room here. I mean, I'm pulling, these are tight, that's all the room you have. So remember what I told you here on how I identified green versus black. I'm not sure if that matters. Like I said, mechanics, please chime in. But I stripped these wires back here, about that far, right? Not very far. Maybe a quarter to a half inch, somewhere around there. And then once I splat those back, I put this heat shrink on there, which is heat shrink. It comes in multiple colors, but basically you just slide this over the end down in there, put your butt splice on there, crimp it using your crimping tool here. Obviously this red color code helps you to determine which size to use to get a proper crimp. You crimp it on these blue or yellow ones, which are for larger gauge wires or heavier gauge wires, it could come undone and you have to redo it, and there's not much room to work with here. So you can see once I crimped those, I slid this the blue color heat shrink was for this size. I slid it from down here over my connection and just lightly melted it with a lighter. And the lighter to light the barbecue grill. Stupid me, obviously. I came over here, and you should do the same side on your new harness, right? But guess what I did? Forgot to put it on there. So I just electrical taped it, melted it down. Mechanics will probably chew me out for that, but that's what I'm sticking with. As you can see, you don't need to heat it much. That heat shrink sucks down and it just helps reduce it's a moisture barrier. So that being said, let's go see if it works. So I'll come around to the car. I just have this sitting out here before I put it all together. I want to see if it works, but it's just sitting here. So let's go around the car. all we should have to do is turn on the headlight. Headlight's on. And look at that. Low beam's working, guys. Thumbs up. Not sure how much it would cost me to have somebody do this, but I did it myself. So all I'm going to do is reconnect this guy back in here. Once I turn it off, but connect that guy back in there and put it back together. Should be it. Just follow the reverse instructions of what you did, and then we're good to go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, the post. Let me know if you got questions. Like I said, mechanics, you guys that do it right, chime in here and show us novices how to do some of this stuff, so we don't have to mess your shop up with simple tasks like this. You can stay focused on the big ticket items. Thanks, guys.